If you're watching this video, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're someone who has started a business or failed on their first few tries. And maybe you're someone who's looking around at different business models, but you're really having a lot of confusion about what kind of business should I start or what kind of business is right for me, especially based on where I'm at in my online entrepreneurship journey. Now, regardless of what that you fall into, you probably feel a whole lot like I did when I was back in 2019 trying to start my first business, going all the way up to 2021, where I just spun my wheels for a period of about 3 years. And I'm making this video because I wish that I had this video back in 2019, so that way it would have kept me from wasting years and really just spending so much unnecessary time going down different paths and trying different things that ultimately ended up being kind of a waste of time. So if you stick to the end of this video, I'm just going to cut straight through the noise and give you clarity on which business to start based off of where you are in terms of your skill set. Okay, very first point I want to make. Before knowing which business you should do, you need to think about what businesses not to do first, especially if you're a beginner. So, my first point here is that simple businesses win. And you might have heard the phrase before, simple scales. And it's something that I think is really similar and applies so much to people who are just starting out. So, when you think simple scales, the opposite of that is complexity is going to fail. So, the more complexity that you have in a business model, not to say it wouldn't work, like, of course, you have Walmart, you have Amazon that are these enormous mega corporations, but that's not right for you with where you are in your journey right now. It wasn't right for me either. So you have to think about, where is my skill set going to work? And where your skill set is going to work is in something very, very simple, because most business models are just way too complicated for people who are beginners. So if you think about like an AI automation agency, right? So you're building AI platforms, you're selling it to clients, you're trying to build it off these niche softwares, and you're going to have to do maintenance on the thing. That's going to be something that's really hard to get a client on board with and feeling good about. Or let's take another example. Let's say you want to do e-commerce. You're dealing with paid ads and you're testing 5 different products. You're trying to tap into an unfound business niche, and you're dealing with the margins on the product that you're selling, and how much is my ad spend going to cut into that. There's all these different things, you know, like a lot of these moving parts, and you really just need to stay away from it. Same thing with like software, like unless you're someone who's very experienced in development, then building like a micro SaaS or a software company is just not going to be right for you. So that takes me to my next point. Focus on very simple skills that you know you can sell, that every business is going to need. So I like to use this example a lot. If you're just a beginner, start with copywriting or content marketing, because every business needs content marketing. Every business needs copywriting. If you are on anyone's email list, you know that they're emailing you about different offers that they want to send to you. And that's not something that you have to have a ton of experience in, especially at least to get started in. So the big advantage with that is you just need to decide how much that service is going to be worth, and then get a handshake agreement with the client and build recurring monthly income with that client. So I like copywriting, I like content marketing, I like doing email marketing, especially if you're starting out. And that's where I was in 2021 when I realized that all these other business models were just not going to work for me specifically. And after I had that realization, after about 1.5 or 2 months of trying, I actually had my first success in business, where I got my first client, and it was a guy out in Dallas who owned a med spa company, and he wanted to give me a shot. So In order to service him, I had to have some copywriting skills, which is just your ability to write words that sell things. So you're focusing on a very specific pain point, and it's the pain point of your customers, right? So I had my med spa client, but who they were serving was people who were middle aged. A lot of them were women, and they had really specific pain points on their appearance or their weight or how their skin looked. And providing them solutions through the skincare services, which made those customers feel a lot better about their own self image. That was really the type of thing that I needed to speak to in my writing. So that's what I would start with. If you're a beginner, you can easily learn the skill of copywriting and content marketing. And the beauty of starting a service-based business is you control all of or you control the whole offer. You own all of it. You don't have to give anything away in terms of your margin. You don't have physical goods that you're selling. If you're just invoicing a client for $2,000, then you get to keep that entire $2,000. And it's so easy to work out a monthly retainer with these clients where you just get them on a monthly billable rate and you can keep them for 2 months, 6 months, 12 months, a full year. And that's all this business model comes down to, is just the simplicity of selling writing services to brick and mortar businesses, or you could even do it online too. Okay, the third thing that I want to focus on. If starting a business feels impossible, I can almost guarantee that you don't have this third point, which is to make an impossible to refuse offer. And if you've ever listened to Alex Hormozy or any of the things that he's talked about, he puts out really good points on this. And by taking some of his advice, I use this for my own business, and it made all the difference for me personally. And after I put this into practice, then it only took me about 1 or 2 months to get my first client. So impossible to refuse offer, what is that? It's just something that a customer or a client is going to feel really dumb about not accepting. So the idea of this is, let me show you what I did. So this was the landing page and the offer that I used when I was getting clients. And it says, I'll make you 3 marketing emails, automate your client appointment reminders for $100. And if they don't at least make you your money back, then I'll refund you $200 for wasting your time. So you can see how this is just really a no-brainer for people who are on the fence about buying something from you, because you've removed all of the downside risk from them, and it's basically all upside for them, all upside potential. And think about what's at stake. Only $100. Like, it's not really anything for a client to go test something out for $100. If they lose, it's not a big deal to them. So I led with this offer in cold outreach emails to people. And after about a month or so of trying, someone was willing to take me up on this trial deal. So he had a big list. It was about 20,000 people. We sent 3 emails to this list. And I think during that period, we generated close to $2,000 or $3,000 just from 3 emails. So it was some pretty good performance. And after that point, he was willing to take a shot on me. And I sold him my service for $1,500 to start. And I'm not saying that you're going to make $1,500 for sure, but if you can lead with an offer that's really strong and then just get your foot in the door with somebody, and they're going to be willing to pay you $1,000, $2,000 a month to do this kind of a service for them. So what I really want you to think about is simple businesses win for beginners. The more you can take complexity out of the whole situation, the higher chance of succeeding that you're going to have. So consider something like copywriting or content marketing. Just do these handshake deals with business owners who are local brick and mortar. Do something where you just send them a plain invoice. don't worry about these like e-commerce focused businesses or something like a software business, software business, especially if you're a beginner right now. So that's it, guys. If you have any comments or questions that you want to ask, leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you.